thing. And when I say bad, I mean it's really bad. I mean I got 50%. And then school mein, at that point of time, काफी कुछ चल भी रहा था. And we were, having the issues with staff, issues with strike rate. And most important year of my career, right? I was a topper in the university. Yeah, I used to read a lot. I mean, I used to easily read 15, 20 books a month. I started my own company. Then we got acquired by KPMG in 2014. Our company got acquired by KPMG. Then I joined KPMG as a director.
Hello and welcome to the Vice Bard Company and our weekly podcast. For this week, I can again pat myself on the back because here we are with Mr. Manoj Panikkar, Director KPMG. Over the next 1 hour or so, he shares with us his incredible journey from a boy in Guwahati to being in a leadership position with one of the top firms in the world. Yes, in the world. And I'm also quite jealous of his writing ability. I wish I could write like he does. And he has still remained humble, polite, and ever willing to help. So here we are with Mr. Manoj Panikkar. Get inspired. Oh, so this is a formal hi, sir. Now that we are on camera, and seriously, sir, I cannot contain my excitement. मुझे लग रहा था मुश्किल होगा थोड़ा आपको chase करना, but it turned out to be the easiest part for me. I
was really keen to find out what you're looking for. Yeah. Very happy to talk to an Ugrovian, that is for me the highlight.
It sure is for me, at least, because we grew up looking up to you people back in school, and what I remember of you is एक incident तो मुझे याद है पक्का. Somebody Uttar Kumar Billa, he asked me to get something from his peg. वो pegs नहीं होते जहाँ पे dressing gowns टंगे होते थे. So it was evening at around 6 होएगा playtime के बाद, and there was nobody around. I probably found you there in UK. Billa was in Patel or Ashok House. किस house में थे ये?
The elder brother or younger?
Younger one, sir. Younger
brother. He was in Patel House.
Patel, right? So I was looking around and I saw you, and because class 6 में इतना कल होता नहीं, I just simply walked up and I said कि ये बिल्ला का पेग कौन सा है? And you just stood there and you simply said, you study in Hindi medium school. You were so tall. I looked up to you again. No. Then why Hindi? And then on, every time I saw you, either I kept quiet, कि कहीं सुन न ले, or I would try and frame certain sentences कि अंग्रेजी निकलना चाहिए. But that is something that has stayed with me because सर लैंग्वेज सीखना तो था ही, और आप अगर कोशिश नहीं करेंगे तो कैसे सीखेंगे. सो that is one memory I have. The other general memory is that super cool, super tall senior, never bothered anybody, never interfered with what the juniors were doing. कोई फालतू का conversation नहीं याद है, कोई forcing yourself upon juniors कुछ नहीं याद है. एक चीज याद है कि okay, he's a senior and very dignified. So that is all I remember as far as Manoj Panikkar in OG was concerned. And एक बात और sir, when you wrote that article on sports as a spectator, sir, it blew my mind away. वो perspective था because I couldn't think of, मतलब मुझे sir क्या है ना, problem क्या है ना कि when people can think of what I cannot, मुझे ना मतलब कहीं ना कहीं jealousy होता है. I read that article.
I've seen what you've written as well. I've read what you've written as well. So you write really well as well. Yeah, so.
But sir, वो जो angle था ना, because what I started thinking, and I told my wife Ritu also कि यार ये मुझे लिखना चाहिए था. I wanted to take the rights of the article.
Performer थे, तुम field में थे, हम लोग side में खड़े रहते थे. तो वो difference है.
So I took comfort in that fact. But sir, that was amazing. That was super. मैंने उसको बचा के रखा हुआ है अपने पास. A terrific piece of writing, sir. That was. So, sir, back in school, when we started class 10th itself, so मतलब पढ़ाई में मन लगता था. Were you good at studies?
I was never good at studies,
Okay.
but that was primarily because for me, my mind was preoccupied with a lot of other things other than studies.
Okay.
For me, Oak Grove was a sensory overload of stuff that was happening around the place. And there were too many things happening to concentrate on books. When I look back at that time, I was everywhere. I was just trying to absorb. 10 years just went absorbing the surroundings and just being in that place than actually, studying or learning something. I used to be terrified every time the exams used to come because I was never prepared, and still sometimes stuff of nightmares for me because I've never structurally studied or put any attention. For me, Oak Grove was a big walk in the park and a vacation kind of a thing for me.
And actually, it had so much to offer. Actually, because every day, even the skyline used to change every single day, and maybe in a single day also, it used to change 5 times. So
Exactly.
there was just so much to look around and be happy about it. Those evening walks from Backpitch to the principal's residence.
Yes.
I mean, they did something to us which we may not be able to comprehend, but they did something to us. Walking with a classmate or a friend, just strolling.
It did. And each of our classmates were a character.
Yeah.
Each of the bearers, they had their own stories, they had their own backgrounds, and so there was so much for me. It was, I think, for a lot of us as well.
A lot of us, actually.
When we meet as friends, I think that's what we talk about, is to say, why do certain people actually gravitate towards studies and they realize that this is the reason why they are here, and why do others at the same time switch away from studies and look. So what kind of differentiates? We have kind of long conversations about that.
Yeah, and yes, maybe sir, you're absolutely right, because actually sir, पढ़ाई मतलब studies priority में काफी नीचे हो गया था. There was just so much to do. It would be declamation, debate, sports, dramatics, and if nothing, then just chatting around.
Exactly.
Walk. I mean, you would connect with over maybe music, or maybe sports, maybe writing. There's so much to talk. Simply so much to talk about, sir.
Exactly.
And thank God we didn't have phones, because we could talk.
Oh yes.
We could just sit and talk.
Now, isn't it, with students having phones and all? I don't know how life would be now. I went to Oak Grove with my family in July, and then they had a 10-minute break. 10-minute break hota tha na hamara.
10 in the morning.
In the morning.
Yeah.
So I think it was 10 or something like that.
10. Yes, sir.
So the kids were walking out for the break, and one guy had this flask-like speaker hota na. They walked to the speaker. They were playing music really loudly, and they were listening to music, and really like loud, beaty music. So I thought that, हमारे time में तो ऐसा कुछ होता ही नहीं था. Obviously, they have a phone, they have a mobile as well.
Yes.
They're playing, and they were like listening to music and all of that, just chilling. And how times change, right?
Life has changed. We somehow used to manage a Walkman.
Yeah.
And getting the batteries for a Walkman was an adventure in itself. वो झरी पानी भाग के जाना है किसी एक बंदे को, without getting caught, he has to make it back.
Exactly.
Get a pair of those cells, AA or AAA.
Exactly. No, but that reminds me that, for every batch has got a different experience. Yeah. So if some seniors came at that point of time and saw Walkman in our hands, they would think,
we didn't have it. Yeah.
We didn't have it. So I think times change, and Walkman, you rightly reminded, 1988 में Walkman आया था school में, and at that time तेजाब भी release हुआ था, and
एक दो तीन
ding, and it was all over the place in the top.
All over the place. So 10th boards, how was it? I mean, that was the first feeling of any serious pressure, maybe.
Yes, 10th board. I remember I did not really. I don't and my classmates always call me Shupa Rustam and all of that. They say that नहीं पढ़ता हुआ ऐसे ही बोलता है. But
vacations में.
I don't remember I don't have a single memory of studies. I may have studied, but I don't have a single memory of working studies, for some reason. It's just kind of a blank. I scored 78%, which was at that point of time probably, so I always scored in the middle of the class, right? If there were 30 people, I would be 15th, 16th, something like that, right? Always, from class 3 right to the end. I mean, never right at the back. And in board, when I was going for the 10th exam, my maths was really weak. When I was going for the 10th exam, Mr. Pandey was there kind of telling all the students, gave me tips and all of that. We gave the exam, then I came out. Then everybody was going to Mr. Pandey and telling that how good they...
how well they did.
It was, for them, it was easy, right?
Okay.
And for me also, it was easy because I was not sure, because I was always I had self-doubt regarding maths. And I said, अच्छा तो गया है, लेकिन कुछ बता नहीं सकते. And then I was also in the queue. I told Mr. Pandey, before he asked me, I told him, sir, अच्छा गया है. Panikkar, will you pass? He said.
His definition of अच्छा गया in your case was कि pass.
I remember those words. Certainly, I got 95. I got 90. There was two highest. 99 was the highest. Okay. And Veta got it. Then I got 95, and rest I followed. But it's one of those flukes, right? Which I felt I did good and it went well. But there were so many times I felt I did good, but didn't get
the results.
Yeah, but overall it was good. And I was surprised by it. I think everybody was happy with it. I think 78% at that time was pretty decent. Now
it was decent. Yeah. अभी तो सर वो they score 102 out of 100. It is very tough. But so 10th went well. 78 was good at that time. 95 in math was outstanding, even if it was fluke, as you say. But sir, did something change after that? I mean, you started gaining some kind of focus towards studies. Yeah, you again went back to the pre-class 10th temperament.
No, we decided to get back to. I mean, there was not even a discussion. In some of the other classmates, there was always a discussion about school वापस जाएं कि नहीं जाएं. Other options as well. But for me, there was never a discussion.
Get back.
I mean, it's not a discussion. So. So I came back to school, and then it was fun time again. It was a big party.
Class 11th was a party.
Year 11, and do everything that you had to do. But things like certain things, like I started taking more, upfront interest in things like dramatics, some extra declamation, and all of that. Started representing the school in some areas. Some of these extracurricular activities. I was always in the background, but now again more in the foreground. Then obviously into school matches, I played cricket, volleyball, and stuff like that. So it was all fun again, right? Which was a real crazy thing to do, because I believe class 11th is the foundation for the board exams and all of that, and some people have started preparing for IIT.
Yes, after school preparations. Class 11th is more after school preparation.
After school preparations and all of that. Again, it was a park. We did not. I mean, I did not have any future view of how to kind of be IIT karna hai, engineering karna hai, medical karna hai.
Nothing. And there weren't any discussions at home also? I mean, when you went for vacations, maybe the parents sat you down and talked about these things?
No, because my parents were, typical middle-rung Indian Railway employees. They were busy with their work. That's why I was still in the first place. They will transfer. My mom and dad both used to work. My mom was a nurse in the railway hospital. My dad was a senior section officer. And they were like in the middle rung, and they were all kind of bringing in, and me and my sister both were in school. So we did not have the guidance and all of that. No, they did not have the awareness. They used to tell us that, this person's children are going there and all of that, but they never had that awareness, the knowledge to actually get us. And they were busy with their work, so I don't think we got that. I mean, I was not expecting as well, right? Because they did not have that background to get that to get to that level.
But sir, I suspect that class 11 journey, maybe those 300 odd days in class 11th, they change kids, don't they, sir? In school, when you're 11th and you are trying to run the school in your own way, holding all responsible positions, and the personalities, I have seen certain kids who are maybe introverts, shy. Suddenly in class 11 they start blooming. They can handle
showing character.
Yes, they start showing characters, and maybe responsibility does that to us. And in a place like Kochi, you can't run away from that. They will ensure that you have some responsibility, something to do around.
Exactly, because in class 11th, you're almost kind of ruling the student community.
Yeah.
And there are not a lot of people in class 11. There are about maybe 11, 12, 15 people.
A dozen of us, yeah.
Maybe a dozen. So everybody has to share the load of responsibility. Nobody is really hidden. If you remember, कि जब prefects, we used to have meetings, सबको prefect बनाना है, कुछ ना कुछ हाँ, सबको कुछ ना कुछ मिलता ही था. सबको. There was nobody who did not have anything, right? जितने लोग थे, सबको कुछ ना कुछ मिलता, and that also changed people as well.
Yes.
And some people we could suddenly जो quiet throughout class 3 से 11 तक जो quiet है, वो suddenly they start speaking about it, and that is the subtle change in character when we
and that is when maybe you develop 12 leaders out of 12, because everybody will be leading at least one thing.
Exactly.
So maybe somebody's a football captain, somebody's a hockey captain, somebody's a debater, or somebody speech reliever, somebody in round. So suddenly all 12 kids, they are into their they are leaders somewhere. कहीं follow कर रहा है, कहीं lead कर रहा है, but कहीं तो lead कर रहा होगा वो.
Exactly.
I mean, उस समय सबसे ज्यादा प्रेशर मेरे ख्याल से जो क्लास का टॉपर होता है उस पे होता है, because he is only into academics. Suddenly he is the last guy on anybody's list of stars. ये क्या है, फर्स्ट आता है, छोड़ो इसको यार, जान दो. We have more people to learn from. इकबाल अख्तर सर, वो he would be your junior, right? इकबाल अख्तर.
इकबाल अख्तर was my junior, 2 years junior.
हाँ, तो इकबाल अख्तर का रिकॉर्ड था सर that he never came second in class. He kept coming first. तो हम लोग जब क्लास 6 में आया ना, तो he became our prep monitor. तो he was a very 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 quiet and simple chap, कभी कुछ नहीं बोला किसी को कुछ, and हमने बहुत तंग कर दिया actually क्लास 6 में. And he didn't even go back to his classmates and told them. Otherwise तो हम तो पब्लिक धनी खाते सुधर जाते. तो वो हुआ नहीं. तो in one of the monthlies he came second. And when he came that evening, we saw him crying or something. So one of us, किसी ने courage gather किया, and he went up and said कि इकबाल क्या हुआ? तो इकबाल said यार because of you guys ना यार, मैं ना पहली बार class 3 से लेके अभी तक मैं पहली बार second आया हूँ. And when we heard that, so आप sensitivity देखिए ऐसे class 6 के बच्चों की, they heard that यार हमारे चलते इकबाल second आ गया, and then on the entire atmosphere in the class changed. हम सब चुप बैठते थे, मतलब ठीक है आपस में कुछ करेंगे, शोर नहीं करेंगे, डिस्टर्ब नहीं करेंगे, बिकॉज अब क्या होना सर, पर्सनली ले लिया हमने कि हमारा प्रेप मॉनिटर सेकंड आया कैसे. So it Jharimani does something to you, right, sir? Because I mean, अब आप देखो तो class 6 kids, they have no business to think about this.
Yes.
हाँ, but we took it really personally कि नहीं यार इकबाल सेकंड कैसे आ सकता है. It was as if we were cheering him on.
Yeah, I mean, class monitors पे याद आया. I mean, two sisters. Nisha Anand she was a senior to us in junior school.
Okay.
So she used to be very, very, very straightforward, even in junior school. She had that awareness. Class 4 में she was our class monitor, and she used to come and say, मेरा कल exam है, I'll study. You better take care of yourself. मेरे को disturb मत करना. And she used to be like very, and she was very calm and cool. And so we used to like her as well. So we उसको मानते थे. And Vikas Roy was there. Avinash Roy's elder brother. He used to tell us very, very interesting stories. Amazing storyteller he was during the prep sessions.
And this would be junior school.
Junior school, the Vikas Roy Junior School, yeah.
GS.
Yeah, GS. JS, yeah.
That would be class 5. He would be in class 5, that's it.
Class 5, and we were in class, he was 2 years senior, to class 3.
And a class 5 kid able to tell stories.
He was very mature at that point of time. We could never see him like anything else. He was like really, really mature, because and we had a lot of respect for him at that time. Yeah.
Now that you think of it, class 5 में क्या ही होंगे हम लोग? Yeah, what would he be in class 5 and still able to hold the class together, enchant them?
I know. It's I still remember some of his stories. He used to talk about horror stories and stuff like that. He used to talk about that. I look at my son. He's in year 8 now.
Okay.
And his thoughts are so scattered around. He can't structure. His flat structure. And somebody to actually tell a story, he structure करके बताना.
Exactly.
Starting, middle, end. Amazing.
हाँ नहीं मुझे सोच के ऐसा लग रहा है मतलब in a good way that a class 5 kid maybe कितना 11-year-old
probably
11-year-old telling stories to class 3 kids who are 8 years old and they are listening to him and they still remember. That is the greatest part, is to remember it. Oh wow. So 11 तो निकल गया personality development में.
उस टाइम लग नहीं रहा था. उस टाइम लग रहा था कि मैं तफरी करके निकला बिल्कुल, मतलब कुछ नहीं किया, and we just wasted time and all of that. And then 12th में बिल्कुल माहौल बिल्कुल चेंज हो गया, बहुत सफर हो गया, and all suddenly exams and the fear जो है ना, I still have nightmares because of that, because मेरे को ऐसा लगता था कि मतलब the fear of not the first time the fear of failing.
Okay.
Math syllabus कुछ cover नहीं हुआ था, कुछ पढ़ाया जा रहा था, हमारे सर से ऊपर जा रहा था सब कुछ, and we were not catching up. There were few others as well हमारे साथ school, and हम लोग बात करते थे यार कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा यार. I mean we were like we had gone to calculus and all of that, differentiation, integration. We started kind of losing touch with that.
Yes.
And छूटना start हो गया, and that was scary thought. कभी भी ऐसा लगा, I mean, you can be blank for the full class, but you at least know in the background of your mind क्या चल रहा है board. ऐसा था तब तक. ऐसा कभी नहीं हुआ कि you are staring at the board and कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. And that was a scary thought. At 12th में पहली बार ऐसा लगा.
The huge dose of self-doubt for the first time. ये manage नहीं कर पाएंगे शायद.
मतलब fear of as a situation, we have never been, at least I had never been in the situation before.
So how did you overcome or even try to overcome that? जब समझ ही नहीं आ रही है तो क्या ही सोचेंगे? the कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा. And then I went for tuition. The first time I went to my parents and said I need tuition. During the because I'm kind of fairly behind the school and all of that. Then we went for tuition and थोड़ा cover हो गया था. Chemistry, physics में थोड़ा cover हो गया था. Maths में फिर भी पीछे चल रहा था. And this is all because of lack of application and then very very rapid teaching. 12th में क्या होता है, बहुत जल्दी पढ़ाते हैं. So syllabus is
syllabus cover करना पड़ता है and rapid teaching and all of that. And then school में, at that point of time, काफी कुछ चल भी रहा था, and we were, having the issues with staff, issues with strike का तो पता ही होगा.
We were a part of it in a way. बिठा दिया गया था, तुम भी बैठ गए.
I was a little ringleader along with a couple of others as well from our batch. A lot of things happening at that point in time, and it did not look good, and. It was a tragedy waiting to happen.
So did it? Did it happen? It did.
It happened. It happened.
Okay.
And my marks were so poor that, for example, and then I think the teachers also penalized us for it. See, I don't hold anything against them. At this stage of my life, I mean, I know even last time, it's so amazing how school impacts people, but very few people speak about it.
Yes.
Last time I went and met a classmate, I won't name him, in Bombay, June mein, July mein.
Okay.
We were having a drink.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was crying, thinking about those. He cried in front of me. He said, because of that 1 year, I'm like this. That has impacted me so much. It still impacts my self-confidence. Because I felt that we went down the wrong path. He was not blaming me personally, because or anybody else personally. He was very anonymous about that. He was kind of taking collective blame. That's again another specialty. There's no individuals to blame, right? All collective. He was saying something very significant. He said, that year has influenced me a lot. And that has broken my self-confidence. I let down my parents because of that. I think my family was never able to live down that. It humiliated me before them. And after that, I was never the same person. So the fact that I don't interact with much of the Ogrovian community, stay away from it, because I don't like that whenever I think about that. So this is how people, process.
So I think the elders need to be really careful. I mean, now that we are at that stage, we need to be really careful when we deal with youngsters, because you never know what's hitting them.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I think there was a little bit of vindictiveness. Obviously, the teachers felt that their control for the first time is gone. So, for example, I got about, I think 70 mein hota tha chemistry. So I got around 45, 48 word mila tha 70 mein chemistry mein. But I got 7 out of 13 practicals. Yeah.
Yes. Because that is what they had in their hand. They could always.
That's what they had in their hands. But I mean, over a period of time, I tried to kind of rationalize it. Say, मेरे को 6 भी तो मिल सकता था. मेरे को complimentary देना पड़ता है कि नहीं? Because I failed, right? 7 is 33%, right?
Yes.
So I said, so Nakwi, he may have done a lot of things, but he at least thought of giving it 7. So I don't have to waste another year passing that subject, right? So that's a favor he did to me. Okay.
And that is that is how you take it now. But back then, I don't think that it would have been so positive.
And but I mean, over a period of time, rationalize karna seek. I mean, it's important for you to kind of rationalize, right? In what situation were you in? Yes, we acted, we got power in our hands, and we don't know what to do with it. And we pushed the envelope, and we really we were destructive. We had a destructive use of that power, right? There were a lot of juniors who believed in us, so we misled them, right? So that you have to confront that. What happens? I mean, you will be punished in some way or the other. But you got off without getting rusticated. You got off without failing anything.
Fortunately,
you without losing a year or something. But you got off with bad marks.
Yes.
Right. So that was the thing. And when I say bad, I mean it's really bad. I mean I got 50%.
That was a fall from 78 in class 10th.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean that is not even a fall. It is.
Right at the bottom. And most important year of my career, right?
Exactly.
Most important year of my career. And I almost did, other than English, I did bad in everything. Well, I mean, I was down in the dumps.
So, okay, you are in class 12th, 16, 17-year-old, having tasted all the success on the stage. People know you by your name simply because you have performed tremendously out there. And then the result comes. And this is, as you said, the most important result of your life till now. Till then, actually. How do you bounce back? What do you say to yourself? बात किससे करना है, किससे मिलना है, और maybe you just can't do anything about it.
Yeah. So that was a huge story in itself, because I went back to Guwahati where my parents were. My dad was, my mom was very accepting. She understood. She was very sympathetic. She was still very. My dad was not that. Obviously, he would not be. He was. I think it really hurt him. Hurt him as well, because he used to always come to my school. My mom used to come less because she was very busy. But my dad used to come a lot, leave me at school, and he had built those relationships in school and all that. So he felt really hurt. I've not done much, and he felt that he always told me. He told me for years after, till I got my first job. For the 5-6 years between that time until I got my first job, he kept on telling me. Yeah, 60% to la sakte the.
First dip to le because at 50, almost all the doors are shut. Almost all the doors are shut.
Every door is shut, right? Every door is shut. Exactly. And so I and all the doors were shut. So I picked up the whichever college would take me. I joined for graduation in physics. Physics mein marks okay tha. I joined for BSc in physics, and at that point in time as well, a lot of my other classmates were still applying for engineering colleges and all of that. Or all studying. Some people had dropped their
to prepare for JEE. Yeah,
prepare for JEE and engineering. And then I had this choice. I went for a couple of them. Like I said, mera base kuch tha nahi. I had not studied for 2 years, right? I mean, 12th I started to pick up, but it was too late. So base tha nahi. So I tried. I went for 2-3 exams, and then I said, "No, I won't do it." I thought, I need time. I need time to kind of I just don't want to get into this engineering bandwagon. Some of my classmates at that point of time dropped a year, prepared, and went into engineering and all of that. They went through that. But I quickly decided, and I'm okay now. Let's work on a kind of a recovery plan, right? So now throughout my career, what I've found out, which has really helped me, is that when I'm alone, I can process things better, and I can put together a plan, right? I've always too much of crowd around, too many noises around, they blur our own thought process. Exactly.
And because the more sometimes the more you talk to people, the more confusion erupts. कि कोई कुछ कर रहा है हमें. And I mean, I have always suffered from this lack of courage, from going up to the parents and telling them that this is something that I don't want to do. How did you convince them? Were you able to straight away walk up to them, say कि ये नहीं करना है मुझे, or you had to perform in some other field to convince them later on maybe that I'm good at this and not that? How did you turn it around? Maybe primarily sir घर पे तो pressure होता है.
हाँ, घर में, लेकिन मेरे घर पे क्या था कि मतलब my dad से pressure था, but dad was more about what will you do next and all of that. It was not like ye mat karo. I mean, it was more. My mom was a strong believer in me. My mom was telling me, and it is almost funny because my mom was telling me that you'll be okay in the end. In the end, kuch ho jayega. And she never said ki ye karo, wo karo, ye wo. And I used to really inform them rather than वैसा pressure नहीं था मेरे घर पे. I know of classmates जहाँ पे काफी pressure था, that has again impacted them a lot. Though जो pressure था ना, it can inspire you, but over the period of time, diminishing returns होने लगता.
Yes.
So it's
because there is only a certain level of pressure that any one of us can handle. So वो लगातार battering जो है ना, वो नहीं work करता है. And in my case, certainly it never did. मैंने कहीं लिखा भी था that I never wanted to be anything. I mean, you ask a person ना बेटा क्या बनना है, तो नहीं बनना भाई, कुछ मुझे नहीं समझ आता है क्या बनना है. How can I tell you what I would? So maybe I mean, people are lucky who are very clear what they want because they can focus all their energies towards them.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right. I mean, very much. मेरे को भी कुछ पता नहीं था. Other than that, I was totally, in the dumps with the marks and all of that. उस time में clarity नहीं आ रहा था. मेरे को ये पता नहीं करना है, engineering नहीं करना. I want because मेरा base नहीं है. right? I was not there. Kind of, it was a period of neglect, right? For the सबसे मतलब class 11 से जब से start हुआ था till well into class 12. For 15 months or 16 months, I had neglected studies completely. So I was behind. I had to catch up. That 15 months will take a lot of time.
Right? Basically, this is a class 10 student who is out of school. Actually,
exactly.
Class 10 का बच्चा 12th pass कर गया है.
Exactly. Something like that. Something very similar to that, actually. So then I joined a college nearby, which was totally, it was not a popular college at all. लेकिन उसमें क्या हुआ कि I started reading a lot. I started going to visiting libraries. I made some like-minded friends. ज़्यादा नहीं, 2-3. And then I started doing quizzes and all of that. I started winning quizzes, a lot of prize money and all of that. उस time बहुत होता था. I used to win 5,000, 6,000 every year or something, which was okay. मतलब 2,000, 3,000 उधर मिल गए. And I made a circle through that. And फिर से 11 वाला चक्कर चालू हो गया. In the sense that, but with a difference, right? Because I used to go home and, I put a discipline around studies and all of that. And then I used to have my extracurricular activities. Anybody who's come out of Oak Grove will know. मतलब
उसके बिना जीवन अधूरा है. कुछ तो करेंगे अलग से.
And that is one thing that Oak Grove taught me. Yes. Whatever you're doing for your daily, stuff, it's not enough, right? So वो मेरे साथ हमेशा consistent रहा. And उससे काफी confidence आया. The school, the college that I used to go was really bad. I mean, it was not a good college. I mean, from an education perspective, I used to study myself and to physics में sort of catch up किया, chemistry में catch up किया, maths में catch up किया. And, and I was a topper in the university. जब मैं university clear किया तो.
This was BSc. This was your BSc course.
Yeah, I was number 3 या कुछ था, ऐसा कुछ था in the university.
So, and I understand that while trying to catch up with your subjects, you were also developing a very, very, very strong interest in literature or reading, as you put it.
Yeah, I used to read a lot. I mean, I used to easily read 15-20 books a month. And
so was this conscious effort on your part? Yeah, you realized that this is something I really like.
उस टाइम सबकॉन्शियस था. मेरे को पता चलना चाहिए. मतलब स्कूल में क्या होता था कि we had a small library, right?
Yes, we had.
And we used to go there. I used to like books and all of that. लेकिन मतलब स्कोप लिमिटेड रहता था.
बहुत कुछ करने का था सर जीवन में. कहाँ लाइब्रेरी में बैठते?
Exactly. कहाँ बैठते? और suddenly I got a full day to myself. घर पे मतलब कॉलेज से आ जाते थे पहले, and we got a full day to myself. क्या करना है? And then we started. As soon as I started observing, I started reading all the books and all of that, and sharing about that. Then I started going to quizzes, and quizzes के लिए book काफी read करना पड़ता था. क्योंकि मतलब वो तो मेरा पॉकेट मनी का जरिया था ना.
Exactly. और गूगल था नहीं हमारे पास, तो पढ़ना ही पड़ेगा probably.
उसमें गूगल था नहीं बिल्कुल. तो and I mean, that was a fun time because we used to travel all across the place. हम लोग कलकत्ता जाते थे.
So there was this consistent graph of improvement now coming from class 12 going to your graduation first year, second year, third year.
There was a mental improvement because mental state is really important, right?
Okay.
Because in the sense that कि ऐसा लग रहा था कि okay, everything is gone, but everything is not gone, right? From the dumps जो था, when we said okay, कुछ होने वाला नहीं है यहाँ पे, and I don't know what will happen. वहाँ से लेके there was a gradual level of confidence कि ये कहीं ना कहीं जा रहा है. I mean, somewhere it's going somewhere. I don't know where still, but it's going somewhere. And so then from there on, I think it was a gradual improvement. After that, I did my after I joined MSc Physics, and then my teachers really wanted me to join MSc and all of that research, but मेरा mindset नहीं था research के लिए. Then I got into MBA locally as well. In वहाँ पे local, I got MBA again. I got a good rank and all of that with that. During the entrance, I got an offer, and then I started doing that. And that time my kind of instinct for business came. I used to read Economic Times every day, and my dad used to started subscribing Economic Times. I used to read left, right, and center. I used to panna.
Okay, each and everything, the details.
Last one. And I read that for 2 years and all of that. And so all of this started kind of becoming, building an awareness of what's around happening in the world, what are the opportunities out there, how do you really navigate it, and how do you, and then there was क्या था कि एक MBA के टाइम एक नीति में बॉम्बे में एक all India project summer project competition हुआ करता था. And then there was a notice board in our campus, which I sent my project for the record called Top 6 Projects in India. For that project, all I did, I followed the process and all of that. Then I went to NITI, I presented. I mean, it was a funny story because उस टाइम PowerPoint क्या होता था मुझे पता नहीं था. I'm talking about 97.
Okay.
So, and there was other universities came in. There was one guy from IMB. There was one guy from Ford School of Management. I don't know if he's still there.
It is. Yeah.
There are 4 or 5 management institutes there, and they all. And मैं एक छोटा सा institute से अकेला आदमी बैठा हुआ. So I was like presenting third on that day.
Okay.
पहला जब आया ना एक I think it was Bharatidasan or somewhere, the guy.
Okay.
He put up a PowerPoint slide.
PPT. Okay.
And the first time I've seen a PowerPoint slide, क्योंकि मैं transparencies लेके आया था.
Like blood samples.
Transparencies याद है? Heat lamp पे चला रहे transparency.
Cut.
So मैं print out लेके आया क्योंकि they said there'll be presentation, so transparencies लेके आया. And then I presented. वहाँ पे यार I was chakach all the way there. Our PowerPoint presentation. I didn't even have a laptop at that time at my place.
Of course.
I didn't have a computer at my place. Computer would come much later. But then, so I presented. I did not get a prize or anything like that. But again, I realized that I was so behind.
Yeah.
From Mr. And then, I think from there on, mentally, I knew that it is going somewhere because I could hold a conversation with anywhere under any topic. Speak to anyone. I had the confidence to do that. I think from there on, it kind of changed.
Okay. So came back to Guwahati, completed your MBA. Then were there any campus placements in your institute in those days?
There was there were a lot of campus placements. There were ACC, there was Xerox, there were a few others that came by. But I did not get any because most of them were looking for engineers. And
of course,
engineers, MBAs in our class, they got placed. About 4 or 5 of them out of the class of 30. But the rest we did not get placed.
So again, that feeling of what next? I mean, BSc.
In India, I also I was number 2 in my class.
Okay.
But again, all my professors thought that I'm meant for academics.
Okay.
But I didn't think I was meant for academics. Because I thought, I'll get bored very soon, and मेरा mental trauma 12th का अभी भी था मेरे पास.
Recover नहीं हो रहा था.
Recover नहीं हो रहा था कि academics में तो life ऐसा ही चलेगा, है कि नहीं? You have to live that life. You'll always be pursuing something that you don't know. Right? Yes. And I never want to be in a situation when something is written on the board
and I'm not able to get it.
I'm not able to get it.
That is scary.
It's totally scary for me, and that's still the stuff of nightmares to me. But I don't want to be in academics in just pursuing things that that will not life. Then the thing is that Sudip, एक बात है कि I on the one hand I was confident about myself, but I didn't know what to do. with that.
Still the goal wasn't there. The goal, maybe it was still a haze. कि कुछ तो करना है, but exactly क्या है ये नहीं पता चल रहा है.
हाँ, exactly. कुछ पता नहीं चल रहा है. And then so I went to Bombay. My uncle was there, and then I joined a company called Gestetner. At that point in time, they used to sell reprographics, photocopiers, and stuff like that. I joined as a sales executive there. I spent 2 years there, and again, Bombay life.
You were going from Guwahati, right? You're going from Guwahati to Bombay.
Bombay.
तो वो तो culture shock का भी shock है बिल्कुल.
Okay, and I used to hear about all the people in my class के engineering कर रहे हैं, वो कर रहे हैं. तो to be honest, that sometimes बुरा लगता था कि मतलब क्या ऐसे यार क्या हो गया life में, and my elder sister, and my mom, they were always concerned about me to say यार क्या करेगा, मतलब is he earning enough? Is he doing well, or all of that? But I said, one day at a time. I never, मतलब ऐसा नहीं कि overwhelming था.
But back of the mind पे था कहीं पे.
Back of the mind पे था. ऐसा कभी नहीं हुआ. I don't know why, but probably grow something to do with that. ऐसा कभी नहीं हुआ कि मैं depressed हुआ हूँ या मुझे ऐसा लगा कि यार कहीं नहीं जा रहा है.
Hopeless नहीं हुए सर कभी ना, मतलब you were not taught to be hopeless actually. ये कुछ कर लेंगे. This line ना कि कुछ तो कर लेंगे. That still stays.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it, right? Because क्योंकि academic life कभी academic achievement पे benchmark ही नहीं हुआ था. So the thing is that the only thing we had is ourselves. Right? Our interactions with people around us. How do we actually work with them? How do we impress them? How do we and again, तो उसमें भी कोई structure नहीं था. उसमें क्या
कोई structure नहीं.
कुछ values था, कुछ वो था.
Yes, I mean sincerity is primarily one thing that people are able to understand very quickly. When you talk to somebody, वो तुरंत समझ जाता है कि ये अपने conversation में sincere है या नहीं है. Generally, so that is something that must have helped, sir. क्योंकि ये प्रॉब्लम से मुझे क्या हुआ ना, जब मैं आया निकल के ओजी से, तो बैक इन ओजी फ्रेंड्स वर फ्रेंड्स, मतलब आपके लिए पिट जाएंगे लेकिन मुंह नहीं खोलेंगे. एंड व्हेन आई केम टू लखनऊ आई रियलाइज कि यार यहाँ तो कोई किसी का सगा है ही नहीं, सामने प्यार से बात करते हैं द मोमेंट दैट पर्सन गोज. एंड वो मेरे लिए बड़ा शॉक था कि मतलब दुनिया ऐसी भी है क्या, बिकॉज वी वर नॉट यूज्ड टू दैट. और उससे सर मैं अभी तक रिकवर नहीं कर पाया हूँ. आई हैव हैड प्रॉब्लम्स थ्रू आउट माय लाइफ विद दीस पीपल. मतलब इवन एट वर्क, फॉर्चुनेटली आई एम अ टीचर, सो अब क्या हुआ कि थोड़ा इंसुलेटेड हो गया हूँ सब चीजों से. कि बट इवन व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड टीचिंग, ये इशू रहता था. मतलब पीपल यूज्ड टू कम एंड स्पीक वेरी स्वीटली एंड फॉन्डली, एंड देन यू केम टू नो कि पीछे ऐसा बोल रहा था, वैसा बोल रहा था. एंड हमारे यहाँ पीछे तो नहीं बोलते थे सर, लड़ाई कर लो, हाथ पैर चला लो, ठीक है, that is done and dusted there only. वो एक
exactly थोड़ा एक innocence रहता है ना, वो हमेशा रहता है.
अभी भी रहता है. सर कहीं ना सर I believe that we have been really fortunate to be like that.
Yes.
इतना दिमाग नहीं चला सकते सर.
Exactly. Sudip, I mean, you're saying that. I mean, आजकल भी मतलब जब भी office politics ये होता है, वो होता है, मतलब वो जो deviousness होता है ना, मतलब the second level of जो depth होता है कि मतलब motive and आगे को सोचो, मतलब ये हुआ तो ये होगा, ये हुआ तो ये होगा. I mean, all those plotting and all of that. Just cut through all that and just kind of do the straight talking.
Exactly.
उससे कुछ at the end of the day, you don't understand all the nitty-gritties, and you can step on somebody's toes, 1 out of 10 times, but 9 out of 10 you'll be right. Yes. If you just say the obvious and say it as it should be said. So office, I mean, that's one of the things that I think probably came from school. कि इतना permutations combinations
नहीं लगा सकते. हमको 7 बजे डिनर नहीं मिल रहा, हमारा प्रॉब्लम अलग है. डिनर एट 7 o'clock. इतना नहीं, हम we can't invest ourselves in other things. Exactly.
But there are people who do it really well, and there are people who some of my classmates who left Grove, they have actually really adapted themselves to that world, and they have really done well for themselves by actually making sure that they're adapting the complexity of human characters. कैसे उनका motive क्या है, उसको कैसे respond करना चाहिए, वो सब. I mean, some people have it, and I did not have it, so I had to just rely on being straightforward.
Whatever you had.
Whatever you had.
Whatever you had.
क्या कर सकते हैं, नहीं है तो नहीं है, क्या करें.
Then sir, every single time I have tried to act smart, it has backfired. आप हो नहीं उस तरह के, एंड आप कोशिश कर रहे हो कि मैं ना ऐसे मैनिपुलेट कर ले जाऊंगा मैं इस बार इसको. अगेन कम बैक टू योर फैमिली एंड यू से यार फिर से बेवकूफ बन गए, ये मतलब दिस इज नॉट समथिंग दैट आई एम गुड एट एक्चुअली. तो मैंने सर बहुत जल्दी इसको एक्सेप्ट कर लिया. मैंने कहा ठीक है, पीपल हु स्टे विद मी हैव टू काइंड ऑफ बी सिंसियर, अदरवाइज बड़ा मुश्किल है डील कर पाना वैसे लोगों से. But I still think that we have been lucky in that regard. We have found people around us who are wonderful people.
Exactly.
They mean what they say.
Exactly.
If like sir, मैं ना मतलब I help kids prepare for interviews for these MBA institutes and others also. तो उसमें क्या है ना, मैंने 4-5 organizations को मैंने अप्रोच किया. मैंने कहा भाई, since you guys are already from these institutes, experience है, so it was a very मतलब सर था नहीं कि एक random approach था ऐसे कि भाई करेगा क्या, and they said yes. तो I thought कि हाँ तो बोल दिया है. Then the day came and I called them up one by one कि भाई अगले हफ्ते से है. Sir, they all were ready for it. Now that was something that came as a very मतलब kind of ना कि वेरी प्लेजेंट शॉक कि यार अच्छा लोग अभी भी इस तरह के हैं, मतलब जो कहेंगे वो करेंगे. एंड दे ऑल टर्न अप एवरी सिंगल डे. आई यूज्ड टू कोऑर्डिनेट विद देम कि भाई यार 9 बजे बच्चा आएगा, सुबह दोपहर में 1 बजे बच्चा आएगा. दे फाउंड टाइम, and fortunately it was all online because of pandemic and all. We started in 2020, but there was not a single day when these people promised and they did not turn up. And so interview process goes on for 2.5 months actually. वो जैन में रिजल्ट आता है कैट का, एंड वो मार्च एंड तक सर इंटरव्यू चलते हैं. किसी का किसी में है, कहीं कहीं है, कहीं कहीं है. 2.5 महीना सर वो डिसिप्लिन मेंटेन करना प्योरली बेसिस द प्रॉमिस, क्योंकि मॉनिटरी गेन है नहीं कोई यहाँ पे, कोई फेम नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है. यू आर जस्ट हैप्पी इन योरसेल्फ कि मैं इस बच्चे की मदद कर रहा हूँ. But that is the only high you can get out of that. That I'm helping somebody. But wonderful people, sir. एक बार हाँ बोल दिया, they used to turn up. And when I talked about them with them कि यार पैसे तो हम इस बार ले नहीं रहे हैं. Then they said कि अरे छोड़ ना यार, हमारा टाइम पास हो जाता है, हमारे पास भी ना मतलब लाइफ बहुत बोरिंग है, तो just turn up, इनको ज्ञान देंगे.
Interview coaching ना, coaching for the interviews ना.
Yes sir. हाँ. So maybe sir, you are the next person.
इसमें कुछ मतलब कोई structure है, मतलब कोई मतलब do you follow like a theoretical structure for?
Yes sir. Actually क्या है कि number one, these kids are really sharp because वो sir 99 percentile लेके बैठा हुआ है already. So he has got calls from the top institutes. तो उसको clarity बहुत है मुझे क्या करना है. Sometimes what happens sir, इनका communication का problem होता है, because sir जैसे मैंने काफी सारे बच्चे जो लखनऊ के आसपास के एरिया के हैं, प्लेसेस लाइक बाराबंकी और सिधौली और गोंडा, मतलब नोबडी वुड हैव हर्ड ऑफ देम आउटसाइड ऑफ यूपी. यहाँ का बच्चा सर वो ना थोड़ा, एक तो इंग्लिश का प्रॉब्लम है बेचारे का, and ऊपर से when he goes to say an interview, there are people sitting from Bombay and Bangalore and Hyderabad and Chennai and Delhi, and you are suddenly like इनसे कैसे जीतेंगे. And maybe somebody कि यार मैंने 1 साल IBM में काम किया है, मेरे पास गूगल का ऑफर था, ये है करके वो लोग, and this guy he doesn't know a thing. वो बेचारा बाराबंकी से निकला है मोटरसाइकिल लेके लखनऊ तक पहुंचा किसी तरह से. So मुझे सर बात समझ में आया कि बहुत ज्यादा थ्योरी सर काम नहीं आता है. अल्टीमेटली क्या है, व्हाट आई ट्राई टू टीच दिस किड्स इज कि यार देखो सिंसियर रहो, कुछ नहीं आता तो बोल दो नहीं आता है भाई. आई एम नॉट बोर्न टू डू एवरीथिंग, राइट. आपने देखो ना कि क्लास 12th में 50 पे आया, एंड वहां से बच्चा अपना फाइट मार रहा है ना सर. द किड इज यू कांट एक्सपेक्ट ना कि मतलब हर आदमी 100 पे 100 लेके आएगा. यू गॉट टू अंडरस्टैंड द बैटल विद इन कि ठीक है जूझा है यार, ही इज हियर फॉर अ रीजन. तो कैट में 99 मारा है तो ही इज सिटिंग इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू फॉर अ रीजन, एंड दे नो इट वेल. तो व्हेन दीज किड्स मेक इट ना सर, 2 चीज में मेरे को बहुत खुशी होता है. व्हेन अ गर्ल मेक्स इट टू द टॉप, जब कोई बच्ची सर फोड़ती है आई एम अहमदाबाद बैंगलोर समथिंग, वो एक अलग हाई होता है मेरे लिए. एंड व्हेन सम स्मॉल टाउन किड जो कि अभी 6 महीना पहले बेचारा, सर एक्सक्यूज मी सर, वो मुझे ना सर वो एसओपी लिखना था, एंड देन ही सडनली कम्स आफ्टर 2 years एंड ही सेइंग कि सर सर मैकेंसी कैंपस पे आया था सर, एंड सडनली यू आर लाइक, मैं सर इनकी बातें समझ नहीं पाता. आफ्टर 2 years दे हैव टेकन सो मच ऑफ द लीड ओवर मी. 2 साल बाद ना ये उनका बड़प्पन है कि वो मुझसे बात करते हैं एक्चुअली. दे डोंट नीड टू टॉक टू मी बिकॉज द वर्ल्ड हैज चेंज फॉर देम. द वर्ल्ड हैज एंटायरली चेंज फॉर देम. सो दैट इज समथिंग आई रियली एंजॉय डूइंग. और सर एक मतलब हर साल होता है, नहीं करेंगे, इट इज टू मच एंजाइटी फॉर मी पर्सनली. किसी का इंटरव्यू है, अटका हुआ है, ये वो करके. बट एवरी ईयर सम किड कॉल्स अप कि सर आपका नंबर मिला था यहाँ से, एंड ही और शी सेड की बात कर लो, एंड देन यू आर अगेन अरे यार फिर से चलते हैं.
मतलब हर बार when you start the journey एक इन्वेस्टमेंट है ना, मतलब मेंटल इन्वेस्टमेंट है कि नहीं
सर. मैं बोला ना सर, 2.5 months ऑफ प्योर एंजाइटी. Pure anxiety. Because maybe primarily maybe because I was not able to make it. एक ये होता है that okay, I keep telling these kids कि देखो यार, मेरे पास मौका था, मैं नहीं लिया. तुम्हारे पास मौका है, छोड़ना मत.
लेकिन मतलब you don't have to live an experience to provide guidance on that experience.
Exactly. So ये तो मतलब because I have got मतलब आप एक इंस्टीट्यूट का नाम लो ना इंडिया में सर, and in certain cases abroad also. Like sir, last year one of my kids he went to ESSEC France. उसके पहले सर कोई कोलंबिया गया था, तो वहां भी. so now I realize कि ठीक है, I must be doing something right. कुछ तो सही कर रहा हूँ, क्योंकि बच्चे यहाँ से निकल रहे हैं, they are going there and they are actually still in touch with me. so कहीं ना कहीं हमने सर इम्पैक्ट बनाया वहां पे. अदरवाइज सर प्रोफेशनल वर्ल्ड में क्या होता है ना सर, जैसे कि बंदे ने एसओपी लिखवाया और उसके मन में है कि पैसा तो दे दिया है. Then they just simply they have a choice to go away and never pick up your phone or never call you back. But these kids
you might have made an impression. तो इसीलिए मतलब they remember you.
So that is something. मतलब एक्सपीरियंस होता तो शायद और अच्छा होता probably. But who knows sir, क्या पता वहां जाके क्या फ्रेम ऑफ माइंड चलता मेरा.
I mean, the thing is that you know, I've had people from all kinds of institutes report to me in various positions that I've had. लेकिन insecurity जो है ना, I am ठप्पा to it.
There's no degree for it.
Insecurity is insecure. Yes. And a person who is not insecure is as rare as any you know, as like a Harvard MBA or a Harvard or MIT PhD. Very few people have the character to deal with challenging situations in the career.
I wrote a very lengthy piece once. It was titled "Into the Mind of a Failure," and I put my entire thought process on academics कि हाँ मेरे साथ क्या क्या हुआ. And it was सर वो होता नहीं एक वर्ड शायद होता है कैथारसिस और समथिंग लाइक दैट. तो गोइंग पब्लिक विद दैट ना सर, उसके बाद से मैं मस्त हो गया सर. Once I went public with that कि देखो भाई नहीं समझ में आती चीजें, क्या करें यार, मतलब फाइट है, एग्जाम में प्रेशर नहीं हैंडल कर पाते हैं. आई एम अ गुड स्टूडेंट, आई एम अ गुड किड, आई एम अ शार्प किड, आई अंडरस्टैंड थिंग्स, बट व्हेन इट कम्स डाउन टू 2 hours और 3 hours नहीं मैनेज होता है. आई जस्ट ब्लैक आउट. बट वंस आई वेंट पब्लिक विद दैट सर कि ठीक है बच्चे क्या सोचेंगे कि अरे हमें ये क्या पढ़ाएगा यार, इससे तो खुद नहीं हुआ, दिस एंड दैट. एंड almost everybody who read that piece were very supportive. कि मतलब बड़ा करेज चाहिए यार अपनी पोल ऐसे खोलने के लिए. मैंने कहा कब तक जिएंगे इससे यार, वो फ्रॉड बना के कि you got to accept it that ये नहीं हुआ हमसे भाई, हम नहीं टैकल कर पाते हैं इसको. But then maybe I learned how others can do it, how they can develop a kind of mental toughness जहाँ पे they can work it out themselves. So वो piece of writing सर अभी भी है मेरे पास, वो रहेगा, वो मे बी कभी पब्लिश भी कराऊंगा उसको. But that was one thing which I suspect sir all of us need to accept it कि सर कहीं तो बैंड बजा है, accept कर लेते हैं.
Exactly. And लेकिन हम लोग, I mean, we talk to kids about it, but it's very difficult क्योंकि I started getting comfortable with myself after I turned 35 years old.
That is midlife crisis. Midlife crisis begins at that time, and you are discovering yourself at that time.
Exactly. Because उससे पहले क्या होता था कि I used to find myself do mean, I was always a kind of real ground to earth person, but I used to थोड़ा projection था, थोड़ा वो था कि मतलब मैं ये कर रहा हूँ, मैं करूँगा, वो करूँगा, ये करूँगा, थोड़ा वैसा था. And but after that, after 35, I said, I kind of started observing the world around me. I said, you have to first have a reality check. Okay, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Do you want to become a CEO before you retire? अपने आप से बात करता था. हाँ, okay. क्या मिलेगा उससे? Okay. You want to have a house in the south of France before you retire? Okay, तुम्हें एक अच्छा सा sea facing घर मिले and तुम वहाँ पर retire करो. अच्छा, उससे क्या मिलेगा तुम्हें? तुम बनना क्या चाहते हो life में? What is your legacy? Yeah, because that is more important. Because by that time I had seen, brilliant people burning out and becoming completely nothing. I've seen below average people doing exceedingly well in the career, and the prestige associated with those pattas, na, कि मतलब ये करते हैं, थोड़ा dim हो गया. Because I've seen people very close who come to where I. Then the question is, what secret ingredient of success नहीं, happiness क्या है? Because success,
maybe we are chasing the wrong word.
Exactly. You're chasing the wrong word, right? Happiness kya? I mean, success is relative, right? I mean, so and then I said, okay, then at that time I kind of took a decision कि we'll slow down. I became an entrepreneur. मैंने अपना खुद company खोला. Then
this was all when you had been staying in the UK, or you were still in India?
I was in the UK at that point. So, okay. Well, after graduation, I went to East Africa. After Bombay 2 years में था, then I was recruited. I went to East Africa, and then I went to Tanzania, Dar es Salaam में था. 4 years of my life, best years of my life.
Why would you say that?
Well, bachelor, party,
money, life,
money, and small place, like, we used to go out on the beach, open sun. I mean, beach. We used to sleep in the beach, and beach late into the night, and we used to camp there, and
And how old were you?
So 20. So 20. When I went to 99 is when I went to East Africa. So 99 I was 26.
Wow.
And had a lot of adventures, again, discovery exercise. And this has been a consistent with me. I mean, God has been very lucky to me. I've traveled a lot. That is, yes. I've seen different worlds. So South Africa, then went to different, traveling, camping with friends. A true sense of living the life and doing well with it, right? But उस टाइम भी कल क्या करना है,
वो क्लैरिटी नहीं था,
क्या बनना है, कुछ आइडिया नहीं है. आ रहा है, do the best, give it a shot, work hard, party hard, and live the life. So, and then that was that. Then my parents passed away, both of them, 2002 to 2003. तब थोड़ा झटका लगा, dream टूटा. मतलब before that I was having and then I had to kind of take care of stuff in India, Kerala, my house, my ancestral property, and so I spent some time in Kerala. So when I was in East Africa, I started looking at IT and all of that. I started kind of working in some projects, IT projects and all of that. As mainly as a project manager, sales, marketing side में. And then जब I was in India, so after my parents passed away, मैं एक साल घर पे बैठा because I just wanted some peace. I would settle some stuff at my at a private level, and then I went to Technopark. वहाँ पे एक Technopark खुला हुआ था Trivandrum में. There was a IT park, and I joined there. And I joined there as a project manager, but then they said, you are good at, you've got international experience and all of that. You're good at traveling the world. You're good at business. So why don't you go and get us? So they sent me to the US.
Okay.
So I started traveling to the US 3 months, 6 months. So वो भी एक नया experience था, new country and all of that. Then I went to US with another company called Symphony. I moved to Pune. I spent 2 years Symphony. I was in the Bay Area in the US. तो तब तक मतलब ये सब कुछ प्लान नहीं था, ये सब one after the other आते आ रहा था, and I was all the stints I was kind of relatively successful. I was doing really well, earning money. And then in the US क्या हुआ था कि I used to travel a lot.
Because in the US itself or from in the US itself. Okay.
In the US itself. And which life nahi tha. I was single at that point of time still. Monday to Friday travel in the airports and all of that. It affected my health, and there was a big health scare as well us time pe. तो मैं वापस इंडिया आ गया.
And you were still 27, 28, I suppose.
2007 में मैं.
अच्छा, okay.
2006 में मैं इंडिया आया. So that time was to 73, 2006, 33. So, and then I got married. And then I was just thinking, kya karna hai? I had that international experience. So US se काफी offers aa rahe the US. I said, no, I don't want to go to the US क्योंकि मेरे को जमा नहीं था life. मेरा मतलब CV मतलब खुद strong business development sales का kind of experience बन गया. वो भी software IT में. So then I was recruited by a company in Chennai called Mascom Global. I went to the UK. I loved life in UK because मेरे को बहुत सेट लगा था life, because कहीं यूरोप में जाओ, दिन में जाओ, शाम को वापस आ जाओ.
it is all very well connected, small kind of place. You can travel.
Small kind of place. So, and I enjoyed it. Again, I built up my network. And this has been a constant with everything. And this is again something that जो ओग्रोव ने मतलब पढ़ाई में नहीं दिया, वो network building skills में.
And I think, sir, again, we cannot undermine the soft skills, sir, जो जी ने सिखाया.
Absolutely.
And primarily was just be honest, first thing, be polite, second thing. Just दो चीजें so simple है.
Exactly. So उसमें क्या है कि मतलब there are so many subjects for conversation. कितने सारे questions पूछ सकते हो उसको, कितने सारे you can tell them so much about yourself as well.
Yes.
And that is what Ogrove taught me, because we can talk to almost, we used to meet with people for different backgrounds, different varieties.
And just chat.
Like levels are like, it's not hierarchical, लेकिन पूरा band रहता था levels.
पूरा band. So जन्म का फर्क है वहाँ पे in certain cases.
Exactly. So that is what I mean. I always struggle कि अभी भी मैं मतलब मेरा first job में जो colleagues, I'm still in touch with them, and we I know where they are, what they are doing, and all of that. But अच्छा, उसके बाद when I was in the UK, then this was when I turned 35, and I started. The consequence of that pause was that I started my own company along with my partners in the US. Again, my former colleagues.
Okay.
So we grew that business to around 20-30 people. Consulting business. Business.
Providing consultancy to IT
banks, financial service companies.
Okay.
Security में, cyber. मेरा first exposure to that area. And then we got acquired by KPMG in 2014. Our company got acquired by KPMG. Then I joined KPMG as a director.
Okay.
And that was a totally different world. And मुझे लगा कि यार मैं टिक नहीं पाऊंगा यहाँ पे, क्योंकि यहाँ पे तो सारे धुरंधर बैठे हुए हैं, सब एक से बढ़कर एक.
मतलब in what sense, sir? Were they more qualified or something, or they were simply
more qualified? They had come from Oxford University. The bright young people, मतलब यहाँ पे career fairs होता था, मतलब KPMG में career fairs होता था. They used to for every career fair, there used to 5,000 people used to come, and 30 people get selected. Right?
Oh.
For every.
वो cream का भी cream है वो.
Cream का भी cream है. मतलब क्या होता था कि it was a day-long event. सुबह start होता था, briefing, then tasks, interview, offer letter. 6 बजे निकल जाता था शाम को. And then offer letter.
Okay.
But majority of the people used to be, and it was like a single day event that. So and and the brightest people were there, and the people who used to come out of that used to work in my team.
Okay.
And I used to manage them, and I used to really, and I had, amazing kids. I said, yeah, ye bacche, how bright they are, how
something that I said na कि बच्चा लौट के आता फिर हम उसको समझ नहीं पाते.
Exactly. And I used to take advantage of them. Because what I wanted, I used to tell them. मैं बोर्ड में ड्रॉ करके देता था कि मेरे को ऐसा चाहिए. And they used to take it away, and they used to give me an output that was 2 or 3 times ahead of what.
Maybe वहां तक हम सोच नहीं पा रहे जो वो सोच ले रहा है जाके.
Exactly. And I was totally, and I was in their position. I was leading a team of 90 people, and all these kids, very young oriented. The oldest guy was probably 28, 29, and 18 to 25. And I was a director of that particular team. And तब मुझे लगा कि यार मैं टिक नहीं पाऊंगा यार ये तो मतलब. And I spent 5 years there. Again, enjoyed my life, very much. तो मुझे और एक चीज, I realized one thing. It is not about your intellectual heft. Intellectual heft is really important.
It is, yeah.
क्या होता है कि at some point in time, it becomes a hindrance. It is how you manage people, how you T-shaped होता है ना? Yeah, we are T-shaped. So it's like you know your area of specialization. Obviously, everybody knows the area of specialization. Yes. That's why you're here. That's why I sold the company to KPMG. KPMG bought it. That's why I'm here. Okay, but that doesn't cut it. उसके बाद क्या होता है कि how do I actually pull together a team and make sure I get the best out of them?
More of people management, actually.
More people management. Yeah. And how do I get the best out of them? And also, how do I make the environment where they can express themselves? Because they're also ambitious people.
Yes.
They will achieve something today. They want to achieve something tomorrow. They want to achieve something. They want to feel that sense of achievement. And the
adrenaline rush, maybe.
Adrenaline rush, because they live by that.
Yes.
And they used to work crazy hours. They used to kind of, the work culture was so, it was destructive as well to some extent.
Okay.
So 8 baje start karo, and it was like in every financial institution, JP Morgan ho gaya, Ernst & Young ho gaya, every financial, that was the culture at that point of time. So 8 baje aaye office mein, you come to the office, you're seeing everybody's there. 7-8 baje sab kaam kar rahe hain. Okay, sham ko.
And this is cold. This is cold. The temperatures are cold.
Exactly. And uske baad, then they will go for party.
अरे वो भी करना है.
हाँ, उसके बाद pub, दारू पीना है pub, and then अगले दिन सुबह 7:30 बजे office. And this used to continue, and they used to and what they used to do was the huge, complex consulting work with all, major banks out there, really good output day after day after day, and the people who were doing that, living that life. And I also lived that life for some time, but then after that, I kind of switched back and said, I can't sustain this. I will either kill myself or whatever I'll do. But that was the kind of environment. But that's why I said, कि इनके लिए they are completely hungry for everything. तुम उनको outbeat नहीं कर सकते हो, तुम उनका leader नहीं बन सकते हो.
नहीं बन सकता.
तुम उनके coach बन सकते हो, तुम उनके leader नहीं बन सकते. So I turned myself into a coach.
Okay.
I started kind of advising them, try and space out your career. Try and come at 9:30 in the morning if you are partying till 11 o'clock. I'm not saying don't party.
But then manage it better.
And I used to tell इसमें कोई बुराई नहीं है if you say no to a drink in the evening. And they said social network बनाने के लिए काफी important रहता है. But नहीं, come under any pressure like that. Take it easy. So, nobody will feel bad about it. You're drinking with them 5 days a week anyway. What matters? एक दिन अगर तुम miss कर जाओ, but you come up fresher because you need a fresh mind to go into these things and all of that. So they were brilliant in a lot of things, but they were not brilliant in managing their own lives.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe they never spoke to themselves actually regarding all this.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They never spoke, and because they had inner fears. कि कुछ मिस हो जाएगा, अगर मैं 1 घंटा ऑफिस में जाऊंगा कुछ हो जाएगा,
निकल जाएगा हाथ से.
My other colleagues will find out, and that competition was there. Agar if I don't go to the pub, I meet everybody.
And these are, as you said, the sharpest of the people.
Yeah, they are going to be the future leaders and all of that, right? But they're going through a phase in their career, which is hugely काफी disruptive है उनके लिए, उनके think mind के लिए. The FOMO बोलते हैं, मतलब
fear of missing out.
Fear of missing out, and that was in everything. Fear of missing out in everything. They used to come to tell me, I mean, I have been dropped from this meeting with the client.
अब क्या होगा?
I'm going to lose my job. All of that. I said, guys,
वो 1 + 1 11 बना रहा है मन में अपने.
Exactly. तो and हमने तो देखा हुआ था. We have missed kind of a whole year sometimes. सोते खेलते एक मीटिंग को छोड़ो, दूसरी बात है.
मतलब कोई अगर हमसे पूछे कि 1991 में क्या हुआ था, मे बी वी वोंट, कुछ नहीं हुआ था ऐसा.
Exactly.
हम लोग क्लास 11 में थे, 12 में चले गए होंगे, बस दैट्स इट. इससे ज्यादा कुछ नहीं हुआ था. Exactly. तो
मतलब बहुत मुश्किल से, and sometimes some people don't make it, some people burn out.
They will.
Because ये जो life है ना, this is like 24/7 pressure. Some people just fall out, burn out, or it manifests in some other things, in their relationships with their.
Yes, and that is a bigger loss. Perhaps that is a bigger loss.
It's a bigger loss. That's a bigger loss in the future. कभी-कभी alcoholism हो जाता है, they become dependent, and कभी-कभी drugs तक भी चला जाता है, because they live the high life. Short money, they have money to live the high life. But तो ये जो ठहराव है ना, मतलब in life, to say, you don't have to take out every opportunity that life offers you. You can see opportunities. तुम साइड में बैठो, तमाशा देखो.
Sometimes it's nice. Sometimes it's just
yeah. लेकिन जब तुम्हारी बारी है, give it your best.
I think, sir, आपसे जो भी बात अभी तक हुआ है, उसमें one thing I have understood that जो भी किया, one thing has been consistently कि अपना effort पूरा दिया है. Then maybe sometimes results favor you, sometimes they don't. But क्या है कि काम किया तो दिल से किया.
Absolutely. I think so. I think I've given, and when I've not done well whenever I didn't feel my heart behind it. ऐसा भी हुआ है कि I've signed off, तो उस टाइम मैं ज्यादा टिक नहीं पाता हूँ. उसके बाद मेरा माइंड स्विच ऑफ हो जाता है. I don't feel, जब मैं 5:30 in the morning जब मैं उठता हूँ, when I can't wake up with a spring in my step कि मुझे कुछ करना है.
That is a problem. Yeah.
That is a problem. That is a bigger problem. तो वो थोड़ा बड़ा होता रहता है problem. And then it becomes that I can't do this, and that
anymore.
Kind of leave jobs, look for other things and all of that.
And so every time you leave a job, of course, there are people dependent on you. Yes. Both in terms of emotion and finances. How courageous one has to be to take this decision कि यार अभी ये मुझसे नहीं हो रहा है, whatever the outcome be, I'm not going to continue with this. ये how do you cross that obstacle? It's difficult, sir, because
it is very difficult क्योंकि and again because of the straightforwardness, मेरा ऐसा हुआ नहीं है कभी कि I have been shopping for jobs.
Okay.
I still find it difficult because आजकल काफी ट्रेंड बना हुआ है कि मतलब when you're in a good job, तुम्हें प्रमोशन नहीं मिल रहा है, तुम दूसरे जॉब्स लो, ऑफर लेटर जाकर दिखाओ अपने मैनेजर को, get a better rate. मैं ऐसा कभी कर नहीं पाया हूँ. मेरे लिए एक I finish with them, then I start the next.
Looking for the next thing.
Parallel होता नहीं है मेरे से.
Okay.
I can't do parallel stuff. Again, this is again part of the fact that multi-processing होता नहीं है, simple straightforward.
इस पे ना I keep telling my students one thing कि मेरी वाइफ एक बार ना she was going away to a place, तो मुझसे कहा उन्होंने कि भाई देखो कल ब्रेकफास्ट अपने आप मैनेज कर लेना यार, कोशिश करना कि अपने आप से कर लो, तो यू हैव ब्रेड, यू हैव बॉइल्ड एग्स एंड चाय बना ही लेते हो. ठीक है सर. तो सर यकीन मानो जब तक अंडे उबल नहीं गए सर, I kept staring at them. मैंने चाय नहीं चढ़ाया. तो ये तो मल्टीटास्किंग का टैलेंट है सर अपना. एक टाइम पे एक ही काम करा लो हमसे, या अंडे बनवा लो या चाय बनवा लो,
दोनों एक साथ करो।
हम दो नहीं कर सकते। मतलब शी कॉल्ड मी आफ्टर 20 मिनट्स कि हाँ नाश्ता हो गया, मैंने कहा नहीं अंडे उबल रहा है, चाय नहीं, कि चाय तो ही बनानी है। with very 4 stoves at your disposal, all your energies are concentrated on one thing कि अंडा उबलेगा तब काम होगा, दूसरा वाला कुछ भी। हाँ दोस्तों, I understand that कि इतना क्लटर नहीं कर सकते थे, इतना क्लटर नहीं कर सकते।
हाँ, I mean, तुमने सही कहा। मतलब एक क्लासिक एग्जांपल है कि मतलब सीवीज फॉर एग्जांपल, राइट? अभी भी जिसमें पोजीशन में हूँ, अभी हेडहंटर्स अप्रोच करते रहते हैं कि ये पोजीशन है, वो पोजीशन अवेलेबल है। मैं बोलता हूँ या यू नो आई कैन कन्वर्सेशन करने में क्या आता है,
क्या बुराई है? हाँ,
यू कैन हैव अ कन्वर्सेशन। फिर बोलते हैं कि ओके, डू यू हैव एन अपडेटेड सीवी? यार यहीं पे तो लोचा हो गया है, बिकॉज आई नेवर कीप एन अपडेटेड सीवी। मेरा लास्ट जो सीवी था वही है वहां पे,
वही चल रहा है।
मेरे पास 50-50 काम होता नहीं है। इफ आई हैव टू डू इट, आई विल डू इट प्रॉपर्ली, और अपना टाइम निकाल के एक मतलब 4-5 घंटे बैठ के आई विल मेक अ सीवी फॉर दैट, राइट? इसलिए अलग से एंड
काम चलाओ काम नहीं कर सकते, काम चलाओ काम।
नो 50% वर्क और ऑल ऑफ दैट। मैं ऐसे मतलब आई विल लुक फॉर अ न्यू फॉर्मेट ऑफ द सीवी, कैसे करना है, अपने पूरे करियर को एक पेज में कैसे डालना है। मेरा हमेशा एक पेज सीवी रहा है करियर में, सिंगल पेज सीवी रहा है। दैट्स इट। मैं उसको कार्ड बना, एंड आई हैव ऑलवेज फ्रॉम डे वन, तो मेरा वही प्रिंसिपल रहा है।
But how do you, with such a journey, how do you manage it on one A4?
Because everybody has to say their own story in a page, right? Everybody has to.
Yeah.
People have to say. And मेरा principle रहा है कि मतलब you should put that, and that's a challenge to myself, right? कि क्या बोलो, एक A4 page है, and you have to tell yourself to your employer क्या बोलना चाहिए. And sometimes I get compliments, sometimes I don't get compliments कि यार तुमने अलग कर दिया है, तुमने अपना वो मतलब you have hidden some part of your experience.
You miss something and maybe
तो I kind of I focus. I mean, और अलग-अलग career stages में you want to showcase other things, right?
Yes, मतलब of course, school and college वो पीछे छूट रहा है. Maybe the new experiences are coming in. Yeah.
Exactly. तो अभी क्या है कि अभी if I go now, I'll basically say, मैंने the latest project I worked was $20 million. It was this is what it does, this is what I delivered, and I spoke on these industry conferences in the last 6 months, right?
That's it.
And I mean that will say more about than say मैं कहाँ से आया हूँ, मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, लेकिन झूठ। and आजकल background check सब जगह होता है।
Yes.
They will always background check you.
Maybe they will not, face value पे नहीं लेगा कोई भी वो, they will.
तो यहाँ पे तो सारे काफी सारे sophisticated systems हैं। तो मतलब and I have all my references, you know, and तो उसमें तो I put so CV में काफी टाइम लगता है. It's not a
name, address, email and date of birth. Yes.
It's not a fact. It is an expression of what you want to do.
Yes.
And who you are. Yeah. तो वही होता है, एक पेज में करना. I think I can do it. अभी तक ऐसा हुआ नहीं है कि मतलब I've lost a job.
नहीं करता है.
crap CV, but ऐसा हुआ नहीं है. But हाँ, तो एक classic example वही है. But to your point about how do you decide change job, when you switch off from something, like I was at KPMG for 5 years, and I was a director for 5 years, and partner तो मतलब top position होता है KPMG में. तो हमारा कोच होता था, executive coach होता था. There's an executive coach.
Okay, this is a designation.
Executive coach is a designation.
Okay.
The executive coach is a trained coach. He's there to train you for positions, senior positions.
Okay.
And तो कुछ लोगों को मिलता था from they used to get executive coaches assigned to. So I have got an executive coach. And then so he used to teach me. उसमें मतलब तो ये है कि मतलब दूसरा ये है कि इतने सारे self help books हैं you know,
I can always,
all of that. So I was a skeptic of that. Self-help books. I used to never read self-help books and all of that. Like an executive coach, they showed me a different side of things. So they pointed me to stuff new to new areas. So as there is there was teaching like thinking like with the left and right hand side of the brain. How do you make
think slow, think fast kind of.
Exactly. So काफी सारे techniques मेरे को पता चला. And then while speaking, public speaking, how do you fill the gaps? You don't do we fill the gap. So वो थोड़ा technique. And when he played what I spoke, and he showed me some body language stuff. It's really, really good, because क्या होता है कि मतलब when you are moving towards leadership, you have to kind of watch all of that, the whole coverage. But ultimately क्या हुआ कि I spoke to my coach and my partner, who was actually sponsoring me for the partnership. So partnership में क्या होता है, you have to invite it to the partnership.
Okay, अच्छा.
तो मेरे को ऐसा लगा कि they told me that 2 साल लगेंगे और you have to wait for 2 more years before you become partner. And then at that time मेरे को switch हो गया कि I said I'm not ready to wait for 2 years. I'm turning by the time I'll be 50 at that time, and I want to do something else when I'm 50. If I'm not turning partner in the next 6 months,
then I'm not.
Then I'm not really interested. So they were very frank with me. Said nahi ho payega because of XYZ reason. I said
okay.
And then that was a switch. That was a moment of parting, and then I kind of went my own way.
Okay.
And I switched off. Now I'm with Philip Morris. Abhi bhi main director hoon. And so that is an example of what happens, what makes you switch the job. You don't really,
the moment of decision, basically.
The moment of decision, yeah. There has to be a natural closure. There was a natural closure to it. And I took the cognizant decision ki theek hai, move karna hai. And after that, there was nothing that could keep me back. And that time I did not have an offer either. Ki aisa ki matlab मेरे पास ऑफर है, वो है.
मतलब कोई bargain नहीं था वहाँ पे. There wasn't any bargain kind of thing.
There was no bargain, because I mean it's either I become a partner
or I don't.
I have to go to the top level or I don't become a top. And they clearly said 2 साल लगेंगे. And I was not ready to wait. तो फिर क्या बनता है? I could have and again these are all really high pressure roles. If you're not in it, it will show.
Yes. You can't drag for 2 years, right? आप 2 साल नहीं खींच सकते उसको.
You can't file. ऐसा तो नहीं है कि तुम invisible रहोगे, because you're still very visible to your team.
Yes.
And the team is got certain expectations. You have to drag yourself to that role, and you can't do that for 2 years. You're not pushed on. तो ऐसा आ गया. But it was a quite a journey. And अभी तो I want to move into entrepreneurship. I want to become an entrepreneur again, start something on my own. Not immediately, but whenever. That's what I want to do for the last 5-6 years of my life. And to make sure before I retire, that's what I want to do.
Long way to go, sir. And sir, throughout
10 years before I retire, yeah.
Throughout this journey, from that 50% in class 12 to heading a team at one of the top companies in the world. It's not about a nation or a continent, in the world. How have been friends? Have you? I'm pretty sure you must have kept your school friends. वो तो रहते ही हैं. They are not going anywhere, regardless वो क्या कर रहे हैं, हम क्या कर रहे हैं. They are always there. So on the way, जो बाहर friendships हुए होंगे, maybe in college, maybe at job. How are they different from OG? OG तो सर वो तो मतलब एक खून का रिश्ता है. वो रहेगा. But बाहर how are they different? Because I don't have many friends outside of OG. मेरे घर पे ना सर बहुत लोग आते हैं और वो बहुत लोग सिर्फ OG के होते हैं. We have a couch at home. मैं आपको काश दिखा पाता सर. यहाँ पे couch पड़ा है मेरा. So it is mandatory for all Ogrovians who come to. तो एक बार क्या हुआ ना सर कि Sumanto Sen sir and Sanjeev Kumar, these 2 people had come to Lucknow. तो तो ये सुमांतो सर तो कर्नल हैं, तो ही वाज स्टेइंग इन कैंट। तो मेरे पास फोन आया कि हम आए हुए हैं, तो आई सेड सर घर आओ, खाना यहीं खाना है। तो लखनऊ आए हैं, मेरे यहाँ खाना खाना, सीधा बात। तो दे सेड नहीं यार, मतलब यू कम ओवर हियर एंड यहीं आते हैं। मैं खैर नहीं, बात बनी नहीं, तो आई वेंट देयर। तो सुमांतो सर ने दरवाजा खोला एंड ही लुक लाइक दिस एंड ही सेड अरे काउच ले आता। So, when my wife meets these guys, पहली बार भी मिलते तो कहती है कि मुझे लगता ही नहीं है कि these are the people I'm meeting for the first time। इतनी कहानियां सुन रखी हैं, इतनी बातें सुन रखी हैं, एंड अगर ओजी से फोन कॉल आया है तो फिर वो 1-1.5 घंटा जाएगा, और रिगार्डलेस वो किसी बैच का हो, फर्क नहीं पड़ता। when I took them to OG सर, मैं इनको 2019 में ले गया। We got married in 2009। 10 साल बाद ये मेरे को बहुत बुली करके कि every year you go there with your friends and we suspect that you also have an old girlfriend there, तो हम भी चले। मतलब what are you hiding? तो ये लोग गए मेरे साथ, एंड पूरा वो वैली का सर स्लोप जा रहा है नीचे, वैली दिख रहा है, there are people around this and that, ये खलील है, ये मजहर है, ये मद्दी है, ये है, एंड she was like मतलब ठीक है, मतलब सबको तो जानते हैं, सबसे मिले हुए हैं। तो वही सर बहुत से लोग आते हैं और बहुत से लोग वो सिर्फ ओजी के होते हैं। तो बट इन योर केस, सिंस you have traveled so much, you have met a lot more people, how is it different? People from who are not Ogrovans?
To be very honest, my friend circle, in the sense of the truest friend circle, jo main say matlab very small.
Okay,
it's not a big one.
Acquaintances may be many, but friends abhi bhi
when I say friend circle ki matlab I can अभी क्या है कि वेस्टर्न सोसाइटी में you can't do what you do there, right? कि किसी घर में टपक जाओ and you know
वो यहीं पे है। यहाँ पे सर एक बात करते हैं हम लोग कि लखनऊ में स्पेशली बोलते हैं कि यहाँ पे बंदा बता के नहीं आता है, वो आके बताता है। हम घर के बाहर खड़े हैं and then you don't have a choice, maybe you're running to the bathroom for a bath and you're coming out with a towel कि यार बता तो दिया होता है, and he said नहीं हम तो इधर से निकल रहे थे, सोचा मिल लें।
Exactly. यहाँ पे friends हैं काफी सारे, but they will always say कि यार you know तेरा planning बिल्कुल गड़बड़ है, you know you never plan stuff। हाँ, तू मतलब घर पे बुलाता है, last minute बुलाता है, टपकता है घर पे, because मैं उनको बोलता हूँ कि मैं एक्सपेक्ट करता हूँ वैसा। when I'm near your place तभी मैं तेरे टेक्स्ट करूँगा, and then I'll say I'll come down. You don't need to you know spread the buffet for me or anything like that. बात करना, just want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you. तो वो क्या है कि वो काफी स्ट्रक्चर्ड होता है कि उनका लाइफ
they prepare
exactly तो but डिफरेंस होता है बट क्या होता है कि मतलब इवन ओग्रोव क्लासमेट्स के साथ जो मेंटल कनेक्ट था, बट देयर वाज अ लॉन्ग पीरियड ऑफ टाइम आई वाज नॉट कनेक्टेड फॉर almost 10-15 years. I was
fighting your own battle for those many years,
battles and all of that, and I used to hear about them kabhi baat hua, and then I used to be but for a major period of time I kept them in my mind and my heart, but I didn't meet them.
Physical communication was not there.
हाँ, तो मुझे वो 35 मीडिया क्राइसिस जो तुमने बताया ना, उसके बाद स्विच हुआ ना, आफ्टर दैट आई स्टार्टेड reaching out to them and started reliving,
making conscious effort कि भाई
those things are important in life। तब पता चला मतलब that those things are important in life, not just for your mental, but it helps you. It reflects on your face, it reflects on your personality, it reflects on what you are.
Suddenly sometimes maybe the family is not able to comprehend इसको हुआ क्या।
Exactly.
आप दोस्त से मिलके आ रहे हो, या you have just spoken to him or her for some time, and then they are कि ये अभी तो मुंह फुलाए बैठा हुआ था, and all of a sudden ये माउंट एवरेस्ट चढ़ जाएगा ऐसा लग रहा है। तो certain kind of वो सर कुछ होता है सर, कुछ तो स्विच ऑन होता है खटाक से वहाँ पे,
जो भी मतलब केमिकल बताओ मतलब वो ट्रिगर होता है।
There must be something.
Exactly. So that is what we are, right? I mean we are तो मतलब फ्रेंड्स का तो ये है कि मतलब that's बिग, काफी सारे अच्छे फ्रेंड्स हैं, मतलब I can't जैसे मैं दिल्ली जाता हूँ, मैं आई डोंट इवन आस्क कि तेरे घर पे रह सकता हूँ या तेरे यहाँ
walking in.
Exactly. You just अपना unstated रहता है things, I don't have that kind of वैसा फ्रेंडशिप कहीं नहीं है,
नहीं मिलता ना.
तो देखा जाए तो उस हिसाब से फ्रेंड सर्कल काफी छोटा है.
Okay. And I suppose with most of us who have been true to ourselves and people, it would always resonate because sir emotional investment बहुत ज्यादा होता है. Of course मतलब बहुत ज्यादा लोगों के साथ उतना आप एनर्जी इंटेंसिटी से रिलेशनशिप शायद नहीं रख पाएंगे probably.
Exactly. उसमें बुरा मानने की जरूरत भी नहीं है. I mean, ऐसा भी कभी माइंड में आता हो you're an introvert because you don't have much friends and all of that. It's not. You're not an introvert. I mean, you've got thousands of things to kind of keep you busy.
Yes.
And you're not harming anybody. You're just maintaining your relationships that are important. That's fine, right? Or
sir, मैं अभी से बुक कर लेता हूँ. Sir, since you have got such awesome body of work, professional work behind you, sir, I would happily love to have more talks with you when we talk about the work and the pressure and the stuff that you have done in your professional life. Maybe sir, connect. I'll again request you to connect when we have kids for interview preparations because sir ये बच्चे जहाँ पे आप काम करके आ रहे हो ना सर, जिस लेवल पे आप काम करके आ रहे हो, इनका ड्रीम होता है. they mention that in their mock interviews. अभी so one of the greatest stories I have is एक बच्चा सर वो है currently वो US में है. He became a data scientist. So he was studying in Lucknow और वो जब अपने mock interview के लिए आया, CAT score उतना अच्छा नहीं था. It was 98 point something, and in CAT 98 point something it sounds good but it amounts to nothing. तो he had a few calls this and that. उसका मॉक ले रहे थे हम लोग, तो उससे किसी ने, मेरे कलीग ने पूछा कि ओके he was a tech guy. वो सर क्लास मतलब 9-10 में ना वो कंपनी मतलब बनाने का सब वो उसने कर रखा था. एंड तब टेक्नोलॉजी था भी नहीं हमारे पास एक्चुअली इतना when this guy was working. तो उसका देखा हम लोगों ने, तो पूछा कि ओके what will be your dream company? So he said कि सर for my life I want to work for McKinsey. तो बात आई गई हो गई, ठीक है. और सर अराउंड 3 years बैक और परहैप्स 4 years बैक मेरे पास एक सर मैसेज आया वही मैसेंजर पे जिसपे अब मैं और आप कनेक्ट कर रहे थे. एंड इट हैड अ फोटोग्राफ एंड नीचे था कि सर आई गॉट एन ऑफर लेटर फ्रॉम मैकेंजी एंड आई वाज लाइक माय ड्रीम कंपनी. एंड उसके नीचे लिखा हुआ था सर आई रिफ्यूज्ड. I was like, अबे दुनिया कहाँ जा रही है? A kid of maybe 25-26 getting his dream company and saying कि नहीं यार we have moved on, हमारा रिश्ता खत्म यहाँ से. Amazing courage.
Amazing courage.
वो सर मेरे पास ना I have it here. मैं मतलब मैं अभी दिखाता हूँ आपको. हाँ, so if you can, I don't think you can read it here. I just put it from the camera. Can you read it? मैं पढ़ के बोलता हूँ. Hey sir, wanted to say that I declined the McKinsey offer. The company which used to be my dream company when I was starting. Preferences do change with me. बस offer letter frame करवा के रख लूँगा that I cracked it. So sir, बच्चे कमाल कर रहे हैं sir. People and I truly believe sir they need help from people like you. Maybe as a mentor, as a coach, maybe just a conversation.
The amount of maturity this person has shown, कि मतलब कि हमारे पास तो I was nowhere near that level of maturity. हमें अगर उस time मतलब for example MBA के बाद अगर मेरे पास ऑफर होता कहीं पे अच्छी कंपनी का, I would have gone and really taken it. अगर कैंपस होता I would have taken it. मैं पड़ जाता पीछे. But the whole problem, मेरा point ये है कि whichever route I've taken, I don't think I would have been significantly different from where I am today.
Yes.
That is the core thing.
Yes.
उस time अगर
ultimately यहीं पे आते हैं, यहीं पे टिक के at 35 you would have sat down and restructured.
Exactly. Restructure हो जाता. And so that is what I mean. On hindsight, मैं यही सोचता हूँ कि मतलब अल्टीमेटली जहाँ पहुंचना था उतना ही पहुंचूंगा, उससे ऊपर नहीं पहुंचूंगा, उससे नीचे नहीं पहुंचूं. लेकिन it's not a question of height, it's a question of, as I mentioned, right, it's a question of, are you happy with your circumstance?
Exactly.
You feel that you have provided enough for yourself and your family for them to have all the opportunities in life, first of all, and are you mentally in a good place to say that you have lived as you wanted to,
the way you wanted it.
You have had your friends, you have, and so I think those are some of the aspects that come in after a lot of thinking. And by the way, even CEOs can have that same thing and still be a CEO. I'm not saying that it's not related to, this has got nothing to do with success. It's a totally different piece, and CEOs can be happy, board members can be happy, people who are billionaires, and everybody can be happy. At the same time can have the same outlook in life. And people who are not that can also have the same outlook in life and be as successful in their mind.
In their minds, yes. मतलब वो कहते नहीं सर, I don't know if you can sing. Can you sing? नहीं. हाँ. लेकिन सर मन में क्या लगता है जब गाना गाते हैं, हमें लगता है कि हमसे अच्छा सुर तो कोई लगा ही नहीं पा रहा है. Sometimes सर ऐसे A.R. रहमान का सॉन्ग चल रहा है, रहमान is singing himself and हम साथ में सुर मिला रहे हैं and वो lyrics go off and you realize कि ये रहमान गलत हो गया है यहाँ पे, मतलब हम तो सही चल रहे हैं. So you can be happy the way you are.
Exactly.
You can't keep putting pressure on yourself to be A.R. Rahman. You can simply say ये गलत गा गया है यार ये बंदा, हम तो सही जा रहे थे, गलत गा गया. सर मजा आ गया सर. वंडरफुल. पहली बात तो सर अभी भी ना, मतलब जब when you came online, I found it really overwhelming कि यार 91, this person, maybe he spoke just one line to me in school, that was कि किस medium से school है हमारा, and here we are and talking as if मतलब 91 का 92 हुआ है बस. 2022 तो कहीं से नहीं हुआ है.
पटका हुआ है वहां पे, वही पटका हुआ है. You have not, Sudip, your face has not changed fundamentally. You are still the same guy. तुम वैसे ही बड़े हो गए हो बिल्कुल. I still remember your face exactly like that. You have not changed a lot.
Wow. Gendex में भी हालांकि बीबी कहती है you need to lose some weight because ये थोड़ा इधर जो है चीक्स पे दिख रहा है. But then, लेकिन सर आप सर मतलब कितना डिसिप्लिन आदमी दिखाएगा सर. सामने खाना रखा है, स्वीट्स रखे हैं, और मतलब कब तक छोड़ेंगे उनको. So as a family head, she has decided कि हमारे रेफ्रिजरेटर में, हमारे फ्रिज में अब स्वीट्स नहीं होंगे.
अच्छा, ओके.
तो वो सर बड़ा मुश्किल है. तो मतलब आई एम ट्राइंग टू सर्कमवेंट दैट कि चलो मंदिर वगैरह जाते हैं, प्रसाद चढ़ाते हैं, get something. ये तो भगवान का है भाई, ये तो खाना ही पड़ेगा, आप क्या करेंगे. बट सर अगेन आई कांट थैंक यू इनफ फॉर बीइंग देयर सर. और अगेन द ब्यूटी ऑफ इट ऑल दैट इट वाज जस्ट अ मैसेज. There was no chasing, there was no going through somebody, trying to reach out. The simple, straightforward, sir, aa jao, and aa gaye. That's it.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure. I mean, when you send me a message, मेरे को ऐसा लगा थोड़ा prepare होके आना पड़ेगा. पता नहीं तुम कितना formal करोगे, but I think the way you have conducted it, I mean, the way तुमने मतलब comfortable बनाया मुझे. Thank you for that, and it's a pleasure to always talk to Province, but I really enjoyed this interaction.
And so we have sure
to tell it as it is, without any.
This is exactly what I wanted, because ultimately, sir, it's not only about chit-chatting and feeling happy about it. It's about also the people, the kids who would be. I hope there'll be many who listen to us in future. They understand that okay, there's nothing that is. मतलब ठीक है, impossible is a big word to say, but सर अगर आप मतलब वही देखो ना सर, मुझे बार वही याद आता है कि somebody with 50% in class 12 having no clue and doing what he has done. सर मैं सबको ही बोलता हूँ that look around, there are miracles. And I believe you would agree, sir.
Yeah. You just have to be. I mean, I have not done any miracle, by the way. I've just lived one day at a time. That's it.
One day at a time.
take one day at a time. Just, take a chill pill. I think the biggest thing, if I have to say anything to the kids, is that you always have that opportunity to pick yourself up. There's no absolutes in life. Maybe मैं जब कोई big event के लिए जाता हूँ, when I mess up, I go up to speak, and I sometimes I do really well, sometimes I screw up.
Yes.
The first thing I say to myself is, there'll be the next opportunity. अगला opportunity आएगा.
ये तो हो गया.
ये तो हो गया. But, and then I make a mental note of things that I need to do better. Operation, structure, ये वो. And then I said, and I kind of quickly get over it. So what? Can you change anything? Can you change anything on that speech? हो गया. Can you change anything? Okay. So what you can do is you can go back and cry yourself and sleep. But why? What will it change? It will not change the outcome.
Nothing.
Right?
Yeah.
Let's move. Let's go on to the next time. Just make sure you do this. I think so. These things are kids who are going through a lot of pressure should really know this.
And trust me, sir, they are. I mean, the world has changed from where you were coming. In my days also, मतलब जब आप face कर रहे थे, and when we started facing, तब थोड़ा change आया था. And अभी तो sir, मतलब it is absolutely, मतलब वो तो bonkers हो गया है बिल्कुल.
Exactly.
Fine, sir. Then what time is it at your place?
It's 4:45. मैं 5 बजे जिम के लिए जा रहा हूँ.
चलो सर निकलो. I'll have my sweet Indian Idol time. कुछ गाने वाने सुने, कमियां निकालेंगे लोगों में जाके, जरा सही से गा नहीं पा रहा है ये. Thanks again, sir, and love you, sir, and see you soon. Sir.
Yeah, cheers.
Thanks. All right. So if you've got your breath back from that conversation, please like, subscribe, spread the word around, because I think more young people need to know about such stories and such conversations. Because if the nation depends on anybody, it is the youth of the nation. Get going. Bye-bye.